Hey, my name is Cory Lee, and a couple years ago, the whole world was in this season of what seemed to be chaos and confusion. There's a lot of uncertainty, there's a lot of anger, and there's a lot of division. And as I was looking around, seeing all of this anger and division, I was thinking, what is my response? What is really the church's response to what is going on? And my flesh wanted to say, let me go to social media and just tell everybody about my own thoughts and my opinions. And as I was thinking that, I felt the voice of the Lord just rise up in me and say, fall in love with me. And as we fall in love with His heart, we fall back in love with Him. We capture His heart on how to respond to the world around us. And as I was thinking on that, going to sleep, I woke up the next morning and this image just popped right across my mind, and it was very much like the Last Supper image. If you've seen that, the painting by Leonardo da Vinci, where Jesus is at this table, in the image that I had, Jesus was at this table, and around the table were all these other believers. And Jesus was centered in this table, and at the bottom of this image was this very chaotic scene. And in this chaotic scene, there's a lot of anger, there was a lot of hate, some sexual immorality, there were protests, and Jesus was longingly and lovingly looking out at this chaotic scene, and you could see a tear just streaming down His face, how He longed to be in a relationship with each one of them. And seated at the table with Jesus were all these other believers, but they didn't share His same compassion and heart posture towards this chaotic scene. To the right of Jesus was this gentleman. He had a pill bottle, he had some alcohol, and he was drinking. But the issue wasn't the reason, or the issue wasn't that he was drinking or that he was even getting drunk. The issue was he was trying to escape. His heart posture was trying to escape. Seated to the right of this gentleman were two ladies. They were longing for community and connection. It looked like they were out having a meal, and their chairs were kind of angled towards one another. But in this image, they both had their phones out, and they were just going right here, missing out, distracted from the one thing that they were both longing for, which was community and connection. To the far end of that table, and the very end of that table, was a gentleman, and he was standing up, and his eyes were squinted. He was mad, he was angry, and he was pointing and yelling out at this chaotic scene, just telling this chaotic scene how chaotic it really was. His heart posture, his love had grown cold. To the left of Jesus was a young guy, and he had his phone up, and he was taking a selfie with Jesus in the background, and his heart posture was, you know what, I'm going to become famous, I'm going to build my kingdom, and as I build my kingdom, as I become famous, Jesus is going to become famous too. At the very end of that table were three people. They were seated around a television set, and they were watching TV, and they were checked out. They were believers, but their heart posture was, you know what, I believe in Jesus, I'm good. I'm just going to completely check out. And as I had this image flash across my mind, I know it was an answer to what I was asking the Lord of how do we respond as the church. And that's why I wrote the book, Heart of the Father. It's returning to the heart of the Father. As we capture His heart, it allows us to know how to respond to the world around us. And in this book, we look at each one of these heart postures of how easy it is to get there, but how Jesus is calling us into intimate relationship with Him. And that's why we call it Heart of the Father, but receiving God's love and then representing it in a chaotic world. So I want to invite you to grab a copy of the book. I believe it'll be a blessing to you. I believe it'll lead you into intimate and deeper connection with Jesus, but also help you as you connect with the world around you.